Comparing your home phone options is a good idea, especially when you can choose between RevVoice Home Phone and BTC's home phone service. With RevVoice, you get more than 20 free calling features, unlimited local calls, and unlimited calls to any RevVoice customer anywhere. All this for just $9.99 a month. And now, we're proud to introduce our Bahamaland Unlimited Nationwide Calling Plan. You can call any phone on any island at any time for just $5 a month. BTC charges $16.25 for their bare bones home phone service. Plus, you would spend $9 to get the 3 most popular calling features, and another $33 to get some of the other calling features RevVoice gives you for free. When you add it all up, it's pretty clear why there really is no other choice. RevVoice gives you more minutes, more coverage, more calling features, and free installation. All of this for less money. And for a limited time, you can get RevVoice installed in your house for free and save over $200 a year. So, if you're choosing a home phone service, choose RevVoice, the better choice.
The multi-billion-dollar Baha Mar resort project nears completion. Hundreds hit the streets for Marathon Bahamas. The Bahamas Red Cross gears up for its largest fundraiser. Those stories and a whole lot more coming up. I'm Bonnie Toot, and MB12 Weekend starts now. Topping news tonight, in 332 days, the $3.5 billion Baha Mar resort will open its doors, adding thousands of new jobs to the Bahamian economy. Now, just 11 months from the big day, Senior Vice President of Administration and External Affairs Robert Sands says the development is 65 to 70% complete. He says the project remains on schedule and on budget. The sounds of hammers, drills, and tractors fill the air as hundreds of workers clad in protective vests and hard hats buzz around this busy construction site. For executives at Baha Mar, it's the sound of progress. With each passing day, the $3.5 billion mega resort takes shape, representing hope for thousands of job seekers and a new playground for the world's pleasure seekers.
December 2014, we will open up this transformative resort, and we've made significant progress to date. You can see behind me the buildings taking shape, and every day as you drive by, you see the progress.
I'm standing on the CUP, which officials here call the Central Utility Plant. Now, to my immediate left, you'll see the Hyatt, which will have approximately 600 rooms. Right next to it is the Baha Mar Hotel, which has an impressive 900 rooms. Now, if you look in this wide area here, there will be a bridge connecting Baha Mar Boulevard to an entrance over there, which will be quite an impressive feature, a 45-foot water wall.
Sands says 2,600 Bahamian workers have set foot on this massive construction site since groundbreaking. Meantime, he noted the developer utilized 3,000 work permits. With up to 70% of the work complete, the senior VP says they're both on schedule and on budget.
It is a $3.5 billion project. In excess of 2/3 of that has been expended to date. The golf course is nearing completion. The golf clubhouse is nearing completion. A lot of infrastructural work has already been put in place in terms of electrification and support for telecommunications. Total energy plan, a COP, is nearing completion. The convention center is also nearing completion.
Once complete, the resort is expected to dramatically change the look and feel of Cable Beach. Dubbed the Bahamian Riviera, Baha Mar boasts luxury hotel brands Rosewood, Mondrian, and Grand Hyatt. But the jewel in this glamorous crown is the Baha Mar Hotel and Casino.
All of that would help to transform the Bahamas as the preeminent tourism destination again, and certainly make Baha Mar the iconic resort campus in this region.
And as the opening date fast approaches, SAND says they're now transitioning from the development stage and into operations. A Leadership Development Institute was launched earlier this month to fill more than 4,000 positions at the property. The senior VP says they expect to get more than 3,000 applicants through this recruitment drive.
And then we will also form a night institute, which will begin after the first quarter of 2014. And the successful persons who complete the training program successfully will be guaranteed an employment offer at Baha Mar.
Courses begin on February 3rd and will offer job readiness and hospitality, as well as technical leadership and life skills training. 6 people are in custody in connection with Saturday's murders on Abaco. Assistant Commissioner of Police Emric Seymour told NB12 today investigations into the shooting incident are progressing and police are following significant leads. He added that the bodies of the 2 victims have been transported to New Providence. Police officers discovered the first body on a track road shortly before 3 Saturday morning, while the second victim was found lying in the street around 9 a.m. Officers were said to be patrolling Essie Boodle Highway in the wee hours of the morning when they noticed a man's body slumped over the passenger seat of a light blue Maxima. He had several gunshot wounds. About 6 hours later, the second body was discovered lying in the street at Baha Mar, Coral Island. Police say the victim had gunshot wounds to the back of the head. Nearly a year after the failed January 28th gambling referendum, attorney Wayne Monroe says it would be pointless to move ahead with litigation until parliamentarians debate and pass the gaming bill. A number of web shop owners commenced legal action last January to stop government from shutting them down after voters rejected the regulation and taxation of web shops and the creation of a national lottery. Monroe, who represents several web shop bosses, explained it would be a waste of the court's precious time to build an argument around a bill that's being repealed.
We're waiting to see what the government will replace it with. Once that is done, we will to read that new legislation, and we will no doubt have to then amend our statement of claim, and for that matter even a writ to plead a case if necessary against that gaming act. So it's pointless for us to rush ahead dealing with the Lotteries and Gaming Act if the government says we're going to repeal this, because the court will not waste its time in an academic exercise.
Monroe was responding to members of the Vote No campaign who recently urged government to live up to its word and close web shops. He insisted that these things don't happen overnight.
If you go to court and say what the government brought to Parliament in discharge of their function, what Parliament has legislated, doesn't apply to us, the court will have to be sure when it acts, because its decision will be precedent and will govern things going forward, and may even have an impact on other bills that have similar language, other acts that have similar language. And if the court is going to be asked to strike down an act of Parliament that has been passed by Parliament, then that's a serious business.
The controversial gaming bill was tabled in the House of Assembly in October, but has yet to be debated after it received criticism from several progressive Liberal Party backbenchers. The Sunshine Insurance Race Weekend has become an increasingly popular event for both local and international runners, and this weekend was no different. Organizers say more than 1,000 runners participated in Marathon Bahamas this morning. Jasmine Bonamy was at the finish line where she caught up with the winners.
Whether they walked, rolled, or ran, hundreds of participants in this year's Marathon Bahamas made it across the finish line this morning. More than 1,000 long-distance runners from around the world lined up at Junkanoo Beach. The marathon got off to a prompt start at 6 a.m. Officials say 18 countries were represented. Taking home the top spots for the full marathon were the Gillettes, a husband and wife team who traveled all the way from Indiana.
I've never been to the Bahamas before, so it just looked like a neat idea. And you know, it's wintertime back home, so the idea of going to an island in the middle of winter is always appealing. And we bring the whole family of my kids and my wife and my in-laws, and so we just made a nice little vacation out of it.
30 minutes after Justin crossed the finish line, his wife Melissa won the women's full marathon. Now the couple will be traveling back home with matching medals.
Actually, I saw him, there's an out and back, and so I saw that he had a considerable lead around mile 18, and so that motivated me and kept me strong later in the race to know that he was doing well.
It's nice to have matching awards in the house, and then it's nice if both of us do well, then you don't have one grouchy on the way home. We both are kind of in a good mood, so it makes the trip have a whole good feel to it.
Joining them in the winner's circle was half-marathon winner Jonathan Volti. The Boca Raton, Florida native came back to defend his 2013 win.
Actually, the cool weather was the best part. You know, I mean, being from Florida, you know, training in the heat and humidity all year long, and we've had a really warm winter, and it just started getting chilly this past week. So, you know, coming over here and being like 62 this morning was ideal, really.
Other international competitors said the warm welcome at the finish line will keep them coming back.
The locals have been phenomenal, cheering us on. You know, the water stops, they were all energetic. The setup and this after party is amazing. And I mean, there couldn't be a better finish line in any race ever.
They've done a great job with it. I do races all over the country. Good job.
But it was not just international competitors taking on the marathon this morning, as dozens of Bahamians braved the chilly temperatures to compete.
The experience was great. I enjoyed it and had fun, and I'm glad to participate in that. Next year I'll do the full thing.
I don't call myself a breast cancer survivor, but I was diagnosed in 2010. I was running before that because I did my first half, and then I was diagnosed, and so I continued running through chemotherapy, through surgeries. And once this marathon started here in the Bahamas, I said, you know, as long as I'm able, every year I need to support.
Grand Bahama native Keithrell Hanna was the first Bahamian to complete the full marathon. Hanna says he spent months training in his hometown.
It feels great, you know, when I give God thanks for the victory, because I was running for quite a while. I was running for 30 years. From I was a little child, 10 years old, just doing the work and giving God, just thank God for the victory.
Officials say 2014 was the biggest year yet for Marathon Bahamas. This year, they boasted a 20% increase in participants. They add that next year they're hoping to attract even more runners. Reporting for NB12 News, I'm Jasmine Bonamy.
And a group of chronically ill teenagers from the Kids of Courage organization also made their way across the finish line this morning. This is the second consecutive year members of the American-based group took on Marathon Bahamas. Kids of Courage provides medically supervised dream trips to chronically ill children and young adults ages 5 to 24. Supporters of Kids of Courage entered 100 runners in this year's marathon, including 10 Kids of Courage campers in wheelchairs.
I just thought I'd give back and, you know, come to the Bahamas, have a good time. It's all chill here.
And what was your favorite part about participating this morning?
Finishing.
Kids of Courage is fairly new to me, but it's been amazing. I used to have to do a lot of like getting myself up and keeping myself up emotionally and physically by myself. Sometimes I used to have to sit in class and I couldn't move my legs because I couldn't feel them, or I'd be in tremendous pain. I used to start saying, I don't know how I'm gonna get up. Now whenever that happens, all I do is think of my wonderful counselors. It's just amazing because I've never had that before, and it's brought me and my family closer to my big brother. He pushed me pretty much the whole way, and I can't say many siblings do that. And in the past year, my siblings have gotten so much better at understanding and taking care of me. And I really think a lot of the credit goes to KOC. And all my friends are just amazing, and it helps me just get through the day. I don't have to do it alone anymore.